Don't tell me to let go. What the hell happened there? Oh no, I think I've got him. Whatever it is.
G'day crew. I got away from Raby Bay about 5:30 this morning. That's Cleveland behind me. The sun's getting up earlier now that summer's just around the corner. I don't think I'll be getting away while it's still dark again until next winter. Which is a bit of a shame because I do like to be in position as the sun's coming up, whenever possible. The plan today is to do some trolling, hopefully to pick up some mackerel. After that I might go and look for some whiting and probably some live bait. Basically I'll play it by ear and see what happens with the wind. That's going to be a key to what I do later in the day and tonight.
You got something on it. Yeah, definitely got something there. I think. You just get, oh no, it's there. Oh, Bonito. He'll be good bait. Good snapper bait for later. See if we got something on him. I think we might have. Yep, we definitely got something there. Just a question of what is it? Oh, we've got a mackerel. No, another Bonito, is it? Yeah, another Bonito. That's alright. Alright, good bait. Put you down in there for a minute. About the same size as the other one. Yeah, it was this one, and I got something on him. What have we got? Oops, the daisy. Oh, another Bonito. Oh well. You make good bait anyway.
I was going to keep the Bonito I caught for a Spanish mackerel bait on a later trip, but I needed to use some of it as bait now, so I thought I'd slot this in here for anyone who hasn't done this before. For the bait I wanted, I just cut a fillet off one side and then cut it to size. I was using a Snell rig as usual, and I put the top hook through the very top of the strip, and I put the bottom hook through the skin and back out again. The idea is to have a hook on each side of the bait, with the barb fully exposed.
Hook out each side. It's not going to catch on anything. It should be okay.
The bait was scarce today. I had to work pretty hard to get this mixed bag of 12. I could have persevered and kept looking, but I wanted to try some more trolling, so I decided to make do with what I had. My live bait tank is a bit on the small side, but if I run the pump as much as I dare, they should keep okay. And that reminds me, I'll just mention that most live bait tank pumps are only designed for intermittent use. They may survive prolonged use or they may not. I try to run mine for 10 minutes and then turn it off for 5 or 10 minutes just to be safe. I bought some backup bait from Mr. Bait just in case, so I could always fall back on that if I have to.
I haven't even finished setting up the rods when this one popped. Not sure whether it's got something. Oh, I think it might. It definitely got something on it. What is it though? Grinner again, is it? Bloody hell. Oh, well, crab bait. Yep, that's what it is, another Grinner. No shortage of crab bait. Yep, that's what it is. Yep, another Grinner. Yep, that's what it is. Yep. Well, at least I'm rigging the bay of Grinners. One at a time.
I suffered the Grinners for as long as I could before deciding that the mackerel just weren't where I was. I decided I would use what was left of the afternoon to try for a snapper.
Fast strip going here, so I'm using some quick sinkers to get a little bit more weight on it to make sure it gets down. Drift is far faster than I would like, but here's what it is. Maybe another Grinner, I think. Feels like it. Yep. Oh, he let go too. Did you get him? Oh, you missed him. I was hoping you got a feed out of him. I hope there's something nibbling. Oh, I have a tiny fish on it. Oh, another bloody Grinner. Holy bloody hell. I'm fair sick of these guys.
It didn't seem to matter what I did. I just could not get away from the Grinners. With the wind strengthening and getting above forecast, I decided I would head for shelter, get anchored up for the night, and see if I could burley up a fish or two before I went to bed.
It's been a pretty dismal day for catching fish. Grinner, Grinner, Grinner. But at least we've got a nice sunset. I'm about to have a hot meal. So that'll make up for a bit of it. Okay, well, I got a Grinner on a livie. You can see the fish's tail sticking out of his mouth there. he choked on it. Greedy sod took a fish that was so big, he's choked on it. I would not have believed that, but there it is. Well, serves him right for being so greedy. He'll go into the bait bucket for the next crabbing trip. And that's just to give you an idea of the size of the livie compared to the size of the Grinner. No wonder he choked on it. Serves him right.
It was too late to video the fight, because it was too dark. This fellow took a live bait and ran. He, or she as the case may be, measured 97 centimetres and weighed 13 kilos, and it pulled like a freight train. It took a while to land it, switching the fight from one side of the boat to the other as it tried to get away. I really wish I had been able to video it. It was quite exciting and a great fight. Just imagine fighting a fish for 10 minutes or so, getting all excited about what size fish it is. I knew it wasn't a shark. Now imagine my disappointment when I got it to the boat and saw that it was just a catfish. By now my live baits were getting a bit precious. I decided to expend another one, trying to get something better. This was my reward. Just under a metre. It did put up a bit of a fight, but it wasn't as hard to land as the catfish. From the time I hooked it, I was pretty sure I had a shark, so it wasn't as exciting either. I can't say that I didn't catch a lot of fish today, but the species I caught were very disappointing. I decided to call the night and try to do better in the morning at Harries.
A nice sunrise from Harries.
If you're fishing with live bait and drifting, then obviously you want to put it back in your live bait well while you're moving back to the start of your drift line. But when you do, don't put that much line in there that the fish can swim around and tangle on something. Like on the left-hand side of my live bait, well, I've got the PVC overflow pipe, and the fish can swim around that. That's not a big deal to untangle that. But I often have a rod on each side of the boat with a live bait on, and I'll put both live baits in the same live bait well. And if I leave too much line in there, they can swim around each other and tangle. So what I want to do is leave enough line in there so that the live bait can get down to the bottom of the tank, but not enough so that they can meet in the middle of the tank. And trust me, you'd be amazed at just how big a tangle two fish can make in the few minutes it takes to move back to the start of a drift line.
Up on here. Oh, geez, you can't get away from these damn things. Into a bait bucket with you. We might have a taker. Yep, we got a taker. Oh, and that one. Oh, that one took me off. Yep, put me off indeed. What happened? Yeah, blade broke. Must have rubbed me on something. I could feel head shakes. Dang! Right, hope you're going to do the right thing for me.
Again, I'm using a snell rig here. The top hook goes through the nose of the fish, and the bottom hook goes in through the side and back out again, leaving the barbs totally exposed.
Come on, stop that. There you go, in the water now. Well, this was a livie. It was my last livie. Something had a bite of it and missed the hook. So I'll send down what's left of him and see how we go with that. Don't tell me you let go. What the hell happened there? Oh no, I think I still got him. Whatever it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's still there definitely. Don't want you going under the bait though, not happy about that. Oh boy. Oh, come on. Went out on this side of the bait. Oh yes. Oh wow, okay, happy. Happy chappy. Oh. Oh well, I'm happy enough to go home now. Whew. And that was on the one that something chomped on before and left me half of it. I threw it in because I didn't have any other live baits left. Now this fella's come along and I thought it was all right. Oh. All right, let's see what you are. Not a bad size. Have to go around 70 or 67. What have we got? 66. Oh, well, that's still all right. Got him. That tail flaps the giveaway. Into the bleeding bag. Kilo. That's it. What a lovely fish this was. Good, fat, nice condition, beautiful. Just beautiful. Rightio. A little crab. I think the snapper that I caught speared that up. So yeah, they'll eat tiny baits as well.
Now here's a tip. If you have one of these folding nets, spray the button with WD-40 or similar after every use. Press it in and make sure you get the WD-40 inside the handle. If you have fresh water, giving it a rinse with that is also a good idea before you put the WD-40 on. If you don't do this, the aluminium on the handle around the button will corrode and the button will eventually pop out.
Stick around, we'll have a bit of a talk on tackle at the end. Right, on a really sharp knife for filleting, of course. I've done a video on how to sharpen a knife before, but that's only half the battle. You need to steel it as well. This steel was older than I am. It was made in Germany before the war. Beautiful steel, does a really good job. So once I've done that much, I'll flip him over and do the other side so it's all nice and even. You take the fillet off one side first. It all sags and I find it a lot harder to do. I don't know how people use what you think of as the traditional filleting knife, those long skinny ones. I find the Skinner knife much easier to fillet with because you can use the flat of the blade to follow down along the bones. Much easier. This is a Russell knife. I prefer it over the Victorinox. The Victorinox knives are good, but the Russell has a slightly heavier blade and I like that. That's why I like the heavy blade. You can cut through these joints here with it. And once you cut through them, you take the wing out. Because the wing is the best part of the whole fish. And then again the heavy blade comes in handy. You can split down the middle there. So you've got two wings. There's a lot of meat on them and it's really sweet meat. There's no right or wrong way to fillet the fish as long as it works. I'm certainly not the best or the fastest, but I get the job done and I don't waste too much. I'll take these in and come back and clean up. I haven't even counted them, but for me that's a record number of Grinners. There'd have to be 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, at least 18 there. Might be more. So plenty of crab bait. Okay, these are the two rods that I was using on this last trip, and I was trying an experiment. A lot of people say you should be fishing with mono or snapper in the bay. I always fish with braid since I started using braid. I like it. It's nice and thin. The current doesn't affect it the same in the water, whereas the mono is a thicker line and it sort of bows out more in the water. But I have taken it on board, and most of my fishing life I've been using mono, and I have noticed it's a bit harder to fish with snapper on braid. I've been persevering, thinking I'd get the hang of it, but I did this experiment. These are the two rods I have. This is a custom rod I bought, and this is a custom rod that I built. So pretty much the same rod. They're both spooled with 20-pound braid. That's grappler braid, both of them. On this one I had 2 metres of 20-pound Troll Pro leader, and on this one I had 30 metres of 20-pound Troll Pro leader. On both rigs I had Mr. Bates hooks. I had a 8/0 circle hook and a 7/0 octopus hook. Both from Mr. Bate. They're excellent hooks and really good price. Razor sharp on the tips, and the price of them
you use them once or twice, you can afford to throw them out and get some new ones, whereas the brand names, you want 10 uses out of them for the price they charge. Anyway, enough of that. Both rigs, I put a number 2 ball sinker on it, just to give it a little bit of weight, because there was a little bit of current when I was fishing. And the idea was to see if having the mono made a big difference. I didn't catch a single fish on this one with the 2 metres of 20-pound Troll Pro leader. I caught everything on this one with 30 metres of Troll Pro leader. So I think that's fairly conclusive. Both rods were in the same boat, just on one side of the boat to the other, fishing the same area with the same live bait. So definitely having the mono makes a difference. So that's what I'll be using from now on. I buy the Troll Pro leader from Mr. Bait, same as I buy the hooks, and it's been great. It's at least as damage resistant as any mono I've ever used. It's probably not quite as abrasion resistant as fluorocarbon, but I don't think it's far short of it. It's very good. And 30 metres of it works, maybe 20 will work. I'll find out, because as I use it, I end up cutting a bit off and it gets a little bit damaged on the end, so it will shrink. And when it gets down a bit low, I'll replace it and put another 30 metres on. You need to do an FG knot to tie that on. I've showed you how to do them in other videos. I'll try and remember to put a link in the video description if you want to go and have a look at that. But yeah, that's the story. That's the exact rigs that I was using, and I think that's a fair comparison. I think I can say definitely, if you're not using all mono, and I don't think I'd ever use all mono again, but have a really long mono leader on your braid, really long wind-on leader. And I've been using that long wind-on leader now for a few months. It was only on this last trip that I decided I'd put the small leader on, just to make sure that it was the leader that was making some of the difference, at least some of the difference. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I had a great time, despite only landing the one snapper. At least it was a good one. Until next time, good fishing.